Let's begin.
Here we go! Hi, everybody!
Start the insanity.
You are not worried, are you?
Me? No.
We're waiting.
Hello and welcome to Super Media All-Stars. We are a weekly podcast, and today we are talking about movies. I'm your host, John Harris, and today I'm joined by three other All-Stars. First one being Jake Boston. Anthony Borich.
L-E-A-Lila.
And Brent Harris.
The Barbarian Horde.
Guys, welcome to the movie podcast. How you guys doing?
I'm peachy.
It's the weekend. Work week's over. We saw a good movie last night. We're going to be talking about it later.
Or was it good?
Dun, dun, dun. But we got a great episode for you today. Today we're going to cover some movie news. We all saw Thor Ragnarok last night. And then, as always, I'm going to close with a little Brent Harris trivia. Guys, it's been about a week since we've talked movies. We recorded a Halloween special last time we met. How the watching going these days?
Well, right after that episode, we all watched Pet Sematary together.
That was good. I liked it.
I sent Jake a snippet that they're going to try to remake it.
I did see that. Mm-hmm. I finished Halloween with watching Silent Hill for the first time.
Ooh, what'd you think? I like this video game movie. You didn't like it?
It was good up till probably, I have the conclusion. The only thing I don't like about the ending was how the main priestess chick died. That was a little gruesome. Like the barbed wires through the body. And
Yeah, that's like the most gruesome part of that movie for sure.
yeah, and the thing that just got me, that this kind of creeped me out, was the barbed wire up her dress, and it just shows blood dripping out of her dress. That's messed up, man. Just kill her off.
No, you gotta make her suffer.
Yeah, and then I know there's a sequel, but I didn't like the girl being possessed again, which I know.
The sequel isn't that great.
I don't need to see it.
Yeah,
after
no.
that. But up to that point, knowing what I know of the game and the imagery of that game in this movie, pretty good movie.
Yeah, the whole spoilers, the whole cult twist at the end is just did that need to be there?
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I like the movie as a whole, so I can see why that ending kind of threw you off.
for an older movie, it holds up. It's okay. But anything for you guys?
Yeah, I went and saw Jigsaw. It was
yeah.
disappointing as hell.
Yeah, you went by yourself, right?
I went with a couple friends from work. It was a discount Tuesday night on Halloween Eve, or it was the 31st.
Imaginary Joe and Imaginary Stephanie. You're friends, right?
Hey guys, one was holding my popcorn and one was holding my drinks.
How was Jigsaw years later?
It was terrible, but I mean, I have seen them all and have dedicated time to going and seeing these, so it was I'm gonna watch this anyway. I might as well just go on a discount night. It was $8.50.
Without spoiling anything,
That's a discount.
give us the quick Anthony 5-star rating for Jigsaw.
Jigsaw compared to the other ones. I mean, some of the later ones it was better than that, but maybe a 2 out of 5. I mean, it was kind of a turd.
Yeah, Stranger Things has sucked up a lot of my time. Odyssey sucked up a lot of my time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I've been watching Law and Order SVU again.
No. Let's
What are you, gay?
go ahead and cut that
Little
part
bit.
out.
all right, Dick Wolf.
Hey, guys are genius.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into the movie news. And once again, just like last week, it's kind of dominated by the Disney, Star Wars, Marvel universe news. First one being Disney revealed the Lion King voice cast, and this is quite the cast. Guys, you had a chance to check out the poster that had all the actors and actresses playing their parts. What do you guys think?
For the most part, I am really digging it. I like it. I'm so glad Beyonce said yes to play Nala. I'm a big Beehive fan.
Yeah, well played.
I'm happy James Earl Jones is back.
Yeah, that's amazing. But what else is he doing, really? If they offer it to him. I mean,
You're right.
Waiting for the next Vader movie.
Donald Glover is the only thing I needed to hear to go see this.
Yeah, he's the main reason why I'm excited about
Sold.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll turn out good. And if it's anything like the Jungle Book live or animation for the animals, that's they're going to go with this.
Except an extra 5 years.
Yeah.
You thought Jungle Book looked good?
Magic
Just imagine.
Mike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
See-
so I'm excited for that.
And I told Jake this on the way home from Ragnarok. I better not get a Seth Rogen Pumbaa quote and then go,
You know you're going to, though. That's all he does.
Would you be more upset if it was James Franco with, as
Yes.
Timon and Pumbaa as Seth Rogen?
I'd be done immediately.
Why?
Who's Billy Eichner playing? Is he Timon?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm totally okay with that. I like that.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out.
John Oliver is no, not Iago, the other bird in Lion
Zazu.
King. He's
Zazu.
Yeah, Zazu.
Yep.
I like that too. Nice casting.
We'll see how this stacks up to the 95 animation that we grew up with, because for me, that's a pretty good movie in my day.
I don't
See-
know that anybody's going to top the guy from Die Hard that voices Scar, though. For the villain.
Right.
Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can top that.
Who's playing Scar in this new one?
I have no idea.
Did it show?
I don't know him. He's a British actor.
Oh, Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Weird.
He's
you
a
make
good
it sound
actor.
like that's a normal. What is he in?
He's kind of well known. He was in 12
he
Years
was
a
in
Slave.
Doctor Strange.
The
Doctor
guy
Strange.
who originally played Scar has still got to be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they wanted to change it up.
Eh,
Yeah, the only returning is James Earl Jones, which totally makes sense.
okay, we'll let that slide. All right, jumping ahead here to Justice League, according to the Hollywood Reporter, is set to open less than Batman vs. Superman and Suicide Squad, but also more than Wonder Woman. To give you some numbers here, Batman vs. Superman opened at 166 million, Suicide Squad opened at 133, Justice League is set to open between 110 and 120, and Wonder Woman opened at 103 million opening weekends. Guys, how do you feel about this prediction?
Opening night means very little to me compared to the overall income of it. So
The longevity in the theaters?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, BVS opened up to 166 million, but like, I think worldwide it only grossed like less than $500 million.
And it didn't also suffer from like a huge, one of the biggest percent drop-offs in the following weekend.
Close to 70%.
Yeah, which is a
plus
yeah.
Batman versus Superman was May?
March.
Or March?
March,
And then
yeah.
Suicide Squad was May.
No, August.
Yeah, that was August. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Wonder Woman was,
June.
yeah. So, and this is a November, December release. So,
I mean, you guys aren't going to like this, but because of Wonder Woman, it's going to get more money.
I hope so. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
yeah.
I want this to do good. I really do.
I like the hype is what the hype was for Wonder Woman when that opened, and that's like nothing. Like, I haven't heard anybody talk about Justice League.
Yeah.
At all.
That's true.
And it comes out in 2 weeks. That's crazy.
I mean, people liked Wonder Woman, but at the same time, they probably saw Batman vs. Superman and Suicide Squad and just were meh.
Well, all the marketing stuff that's came out since Wonder Woman is such a big hit has been focused on Wonder Woman, which makes sense, but
Yeah,
It's
and we
so-
got 2 weeks
so
to go,
weird.
so there could be still a one more marketing push by Warner Brothers to get this hype still.
I think it needs it.
yeah. I mean, the Flash looks okay, but he looks like a little kid, and that kind of annoys me. Aquaman looks really cool in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like when, like, the Hollywood Reporter, for example, kind of predicts these opening numbers, which is fine, but if it's less than or more than a certain other movie in the series, and now kind of sets the stage, which could set the stage for it to fail or do better. I just don't like when people do that.
I'm gonna guess that Justice League will open up to less than Thor Ragnarok's numbers.
You think so?
That's I'm guessing.
Do you think it's going to go less than 110, which is what the Hollywood Reporter's predicting the low end?
Yeah, no, it'll be closer to the Wonder Woman number. It might be a little below Wonder Woman. I think this sucker will barely squeak out 100 million.
Okay.
I think Thor will open up to around 120.
You want to take a bet on this, guys? Brent?
I'm going to say 82.
Wow, that's low. See, I think it's going to do just fine. We haven't had, we had Thor just come out, but people like their superheroes, and if you weren't a Marvel, then you're DC. I'm going to stick with the 110. I think it's going to make it.
Jake, you said 100.
I'll do 102, 1 million below Wonder Woman.
Okay. I'll do 95.
Okay.
So all across
Solid.
the board here. In 2 weeks, we'll see who comes up on top on the Super League All-Stars bet on Justice League.
I mean, we're going to be part of those numbers anyway. We already got our Thursday night tickets.
That's true. Count us in. All right, moving on to Disney has laid the stage for The Last Jedi in theater expectations. This is kind of a different story because I've never heard of a studio doing this to theaters before. Jake, you want to give us a lowdown on what this is?
Disney just, it's got Star Wars, it's got Marvel, it's got all the kids. Like, it's just laying its dick on the table right now and saying, hey, if you want Star Wars Last Jedi in your theater, you have to have it in the biggest screen there is for 4 weeks, and we're taking 65% of the revenue instead of the normal 55%.
And you have to have it in your biggest screens for 4 weeks.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like for a mom and pop theater, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Because Star Wars comes out 2 weeks before Christmas, and then all the new Christmas movies that come out.
So
Why are they doing this?
Because they can.
Yeah, it's
Because why not?
it's
Because
stupid.
it's a dick move.
Yeah, I've done a little bit more research into this too. If the theaters do decide to take it out before the 4 weeks is over, instead of Disney getting 65%, they get 70%.
Like,
So in all honesty, though, you gotta go ahead and say The Last Jedi is probably gonna dominate for 4 weeks anyway.
right.
Right.
So why do they need to make? I mean, did they give a reasoning for this, or they're just like, we're dicks?
No, they have the
I don't know.
clout.
I don't know if it's a dick move.
I think it is.
They hold the majority share in like
They're already
cinema anyway.
pretty
Yeah,
much going to
but-
get that anyways.
Yeah.
So like, why shove it in everyone's faces?
Like right now, they're doing it for a movie that you know is going to be successful. But what if they try to push like a John Carter? Like, what if they pulled that shit on that type of movie? I can see them trying to do that on a tinier title.
And they're starting with a big title. I mean, what else comes out around that time that they would have even had a threat?
The Mark Wahlberg, Will Ferrell movie, whoever that is.
Daddy's Home
Daddy's
2?
Home 2.
Yeah, Daddy's Home
That's
2.
not
That's a
going into the big
but
XD
only I
theater.
was gonna say your Christmas movies are gonna be the ones who suffer at the box office for this, if any, if at all. So
Plus, it's not like they're going to make money off. Not going to make money off of it. They're going to make tons of money off of this, just like they've done with the last two.
it could be Disney just like I don't know, playing hardcore.
It sucks because for The Force Awakens and for Rogue One, they took 64%. And now they're taking an extra percent, 65%. Like, I can just see them keep on upping up everything. Like, right now, Disney as a company is trying to future-proof itself. Like, they're going to pull all their stuff off Netflix, make their own streaming service. They're making ESPN a streaming service.
Yep.
Now they're going to charge theaters more to show their own movies. They're being so greedy because they have
Sounds
all
like
the power right now.
Yeah, sounds like a bunch of money-grabbing whores.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Because right now, sure, Star Wars is going to, of course, be fine for 4 weeks. But like I said, in the future, you have no idea what they're going to pull and for lesser titles just so they can keep all their Marvel movies and all their Star Wars movies.
And whether you like it or
theaters.
not, people like us who enjoy most of what Disney pumps out, we're gonna go see it no matter what. And
Multiple times.
Yeah, and despite us being that demographic, Disney's gonna do what Disney's gonna do. They're just that big.
I want to take that bet now. I want to never see The Last Jedi to prove you wrong.
What?
You're just never going to see it.
I hate this. Like, this really pisses me off.
I think you're taking it a little too hard.
So they're not going to get your $10 and that's going to teach them a lesson?
Well, I mean, no, it's not going to stop anything, but I'll take it. I might take that challenge.
Why don't you go outside Disney naked and protest with like a little flag?
I might do it.
Take it to the man, Brent. Take it to the man. All right, moving on. On the other side, stepping away from Disney, is Venom movie is coming, next year? Is that 2019, 2018?
I want to say it's a 2018 release.
Yeah. Anyway, Tom Hardy is going to be the main actor, and he was cast in this role probably, I want to say 3 or 4 months ago. Probably heard this summer that he was going to be taking this role. And
It's performance capture, which is really good. Motion capture is where you have like all the dots and everything. This one you have like a camera and like hundreds of
that's
dots on
good
your
then.
face.
Yeah, that's good then.
It has more detail to it.
That's good.
Yeah, which definitely makes it way better. Yeah, you know who we heard it from?
Who we hear it from?
We heard it from Mr. Motion Capture himself.
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis was the guy to leak this. Like, this wasn't common knowledge, and now it is.
So compared to what the things we've seen in most recent movies, like the Rogue One, or what movie did we just see? Blade Runner, that had some of those kind of captures.
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with Venom looking that much better if that's what it takes to make him look good in a good story on screen. I'm excited for that because after Venom and Spider-Man 3, like you want to do something different.
I just wanted more from him. I thought he looked cool in Spider-Man 3. Topher Grace sure didn't play him off right, but
Venom
he
didn't
looked-
even look cool.
No.
See, I thought he did.
Would you guys want to see like a comic huge Venom, like ripped?
I'd want to see like
Tom Hardy's build.
a Batista-sized Venom.
I don't know if that carries over well to the theater.
It depends on what type of Venom they do. There are two types of Venom that I know of. There's the one from the 90s, like Todd McFarlane drawn, just like huge,
Right.
massive fuck.
Yeah.
But then there's a newer one to where like Venom is a good guy, and you go like undercover in the army to be like a rogue agent.
Which
That-
one are they going for here, though?
I have no idea. But I'm guessing if he's fully performance capturing the Art of Venom, I would guess that he would be doing more of the first one.
It's like hit or miss. So either you stick to what people know and do it that kind of way, or you do something new, but you've got to nail it.
Yeah,
Like
and rumors are that Carnage is going to be in this movie too.
So
I'm okay
if
with that,
Carnage
too.
is performance captured, and Carnage is like insane, like insane Venom. I'm excited for that. I want to see Carnage be freaky as hell on screen.
Which kind of makes me think that Venom's going to be the good guy in this movie.
If they make,
I'd be okay with that.
If they make Carnage kind of to the like Dark Knight extent, where it goes like that dark and sadistic.
I'm gonna say Carnage is darker than anything.
Well, that's
Batman's
one.
done.
But going to that extent, though,
Carnage is like a serial killer.
yeah, I was gonna say he's probably gonna be darker than anything they've touched in the Dark Knight trilogy.
no, well, true, but yeah, but then go further.
I hope so.
Yeah, and I know the director's been on record saying that he wants to make this like more of a horror movie.
Okay, that's my next point. I wanted them to be R then if they're going to put Carnage in it.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
All right, and our next story, I'm just gonna toss over to Jake Boston because this is all up in his territory. The Fast and Furious drama as of late.
Yeah, there's beef in the family, folks.
Oh no!
It's not good.
They're a family.
So
Yeah, in the Fast and Furious, it's all about family, bro.
Oh, okay.
non-blood flaming.
Come on. So, Fast and Furious 9, it's untitled, but it was supposed to start filming and coming out in 2018. But instead of that happening, there's going to be a spin-off movie with The Rock and Jason Statham's character that's being shot soon, and that took the place in 2019 for a Fast and Furious movie. The spin-off did.
And Jason Stamos' character is
Jason Statham.
Statham.
Stamos.
I
John
get that.
Stamos?
I say that every time. Jason Statham's character is bad in the Fast and Furious movies, right?
He was in the sixth one, or he was in the sixth and seventh one. 8, he kind of turned good.
Kinda.
Yeah, he's pretty much.
That's
good.
not the important part of the story.
In 8. It's Fast and Furious. Everything's important.
Is there
okay?
anything important in that?
Probably not.
Everything's important. He hesitantly helps the good guys, but then at the end he becomes a good guy. Spoilers. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So the 8th one is pretty
No
much
one's watching anyway. You're fine.
millions of dollars. The 8th one made $1 billion worldwide.
Okay.
So
Let's let him get through the story, please.
this is a long story. So, Jason Statham and The Rock are going to be in a spin-off movie that comes out next year. It's going to be like a buddy cop movie. But Fast and Furious 9 was supposed to come out in 2018. It got pushed to 2019. Then the 10th movie in the series will come out in 2020. Tyrese is mad about this because he doesn't want his movie to get pushed, and he thinks it's bullshit that The Rock is just coming in and just running shop, just telling everybody that, hey, or in Tyrese's words, I don't like this. I don't like that I'm not getting paid for another year. You're making yourself a priority in the Fast and Furious franchise, which you weren't a part of from the beginning.
He's the guy that's in the first and second one with Paul.
Tyrese started in the second one. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But he's been in like 6 of the 8 so far.
Yeah.
Like he says all this, Tyrese says all this over Instagram. The Rock comes back and he's on the set of Ballers and he's like, I just listened to your album, Tyrese. It's pure garbage. And he just like keeps on rubbing his nose into like how bad it is. Like The Rock is normally a good guy in everything, but like on it, he did like a social media post and he just like blasted Tyrese out of the water. It was great. But come to like this week, Tyrese posts another thing and he has an ultimatum for The Rock. He's like, and Paramount, who
Sure.
releases all the
Produces
Fast and Furious movies. Yeah, he's like, either you push The Rock spin-off movie and you put Fast and Furious 9 where it used to go to release in 2018, or I'm not coming back.
There's another part of this is like Tyrese is tied up in like a divorce court right
Yeah,
now, and he needs the money.
The only reason he wants this to happen is so he can have money to help get his kid in court. And I don't know how Tyrese doesn't have money right now, but he doesn't. He has money issues. So instead of just like talking it out with the legal system, he's trying to persuade people via social media. And
Does
that's
anybody
kinda
even
gross.
like his character in the movies?
That's the thing. A lot more people like The Rock than Tyrese
Yeah.
anyway.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Like Tyrese is probably like the low man on the totem pole in the
Right.
Fast and Furious series.
Plus, at the end of the day, like Paramount's going to make the call. Like you can make your social media push.
I don't think
via
they'll-
actor.
That's why this is stupid and it's kind of sad. And I'm hoping nothing happens. I'm hoping Tyrese just kind of knows that he's in the wrong and just kind of like hides in a hole
See,
for a year.
This is how I like. Paramount's gonna be like, no, we're gonna stick with what we're doing, and he's gonna be like, okay, I need money regardless, so
Yeah.
let's do what you want to do again.
Exactly. I mean, he's already put his foot in his mouth, so if he has to go, like if he's not in the next movies, it's his own fault.
Yeah.
And not to fall in the majority here, but too bad, guy. The Rock's bigger than you, and but the Rock's gonna bring in people to the movie theater. Guess what Paramount's gonna do? They're gonna go with the actor who brings in the people.
Well, I mean, I feel bad for Tyrese because he's going through some shit right now.
Yeah,
obviously.
that sucks. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but
Yeah, divorce sucks, but him not having money is his own damn fault.
yeah, that's true as well.
Suck it up.
Yeah,
He's a rapper. He's not good with money.
Yeah, to end
Oh,
this,
his album's not doing well?
no, I didn't even know he had an album.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, first The Rock had problems with Vin Diesel about the same spin-off idea, and then Tyrese came out against The Rock, and it sounds like The Rock isn't wanted in the Fast and Furious series from people that help make the Fast and Furious series. It's very weird.
God.
I was gonna say, how many times can you beat the dead horse
I mean,
before it gets old?
I know,
let's
right?
just end it.
Yeah, after 2 more movies and then a
Oh,
spin-off.
come on, man.
3 movies, 3 years. Let's do it.
Ugh. Let's just end it.
All right, then let's go ahead and jump to movies that came out since our last podcast. And there's actually only a lot of small ones that came out, but we're only going to mention 2 that made it to the bigger box office. And that was Anthony's Jigsaw that came out 10/27, turd, as he said. And then I think it came out this week as well, A Bad Mom's Christmas.
Sure did. I know my wife's going to see that.
It's not doing good, man. Numbers aren't great for it.
Is that a sequel to the one that came out like a couple years ago?
It came out last year.
Yeah, very
Really?
soon.
And that one
Yeah.
didn't do great numbers either.
Like that came out last summer.
That was like with Kristen Bell and
Mila Kunis.
yeah.
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 Weird.
Except this time, their moms are here.
And it's Christmas.
See, that just seems like a rip off of the what was it the dad one with Mark Wahlberg and
Daddy's home.
Daddy's Home, yeah.
Or like,
That they're making a second one
Right.
this Christmas.
Right.
there's been a lot of like they did this with The Hangover. They had like a Hangover female version, and these don't always pan out as well. But like I thought Bad Moms 1 had a good reception, didn't it?
I mean, it was funny.
It was it made close to 100 million in the
Which
summer.
was good for like
yeah.
for a comedy.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, I think there was kind of a reception to the first one, so they like fast forwarded this movie like super quick, like 18 months for a new movie to be out. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the reviews aren't looking great for this. So
Yeah, because you made a movie in 18 months. Of course
right.
not.
Yep. That being said, if any of those movies tickles your fancy, go check them out. All right, let's go ahead and jump to the next portion of our show, and that is the main portion, being we all saw Thor Ragnarok last night. Opening night, Thursday. It was a good crowd. I think we had a good time. We'll get into the details later. But for this first portion, we're going to keep no spoilers. Just kind of give some general thoughts here, kind of stay to the stuff we saw in the trailers, and maybe some general information. But that being said, guys, we walked away from the movie theater last night. How do you feel about it?
Walking out of the movie, first impressions fresh, I was kind of disappointed by it. I felt like the majority of the jokes were shown in the trailer, unfortunately.
Yep. It was an overhyped Marvel movie, but that's what you get for pushing out so many superhero movies in the same year. I mean, it was good. It had a lot of laughs, but
Yeah, I feel
I've
like
seen better.
I feel like I've said this a lot since we've been doing the podcast. Like, it's not a bad movie. It's really not. It's just my expectations weren't met, and they must be really high, I guess. But
I was okay with it. I mean, it wasn't a stellar movie, but it was definitely worth the money I paid for it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was it's everything I wanted it to be. There's a few like takes and tacks here or there that kind of like I didn't like as much, but overall experience for a Marvel movie and from what I wanted from Thor and Hulk and all the press leading up to it, this was a really good movie. I was excited to see it, and I was excited when I left. So let's go ahead and dive into some light story details here. We know this movie kind of treads the line between the Asgard line and Planet Hulk. And we know that obviously the Hulk plays a big part in this movie. And we know that Thor is kind of stripped of his hammer and thrown into this Sakaar world.
yeah, like it's shown in the trailer that Hela like catches his hammer and just totally breaks it, like
Destroys
smashes
it.
Yeah, crushes it in her hand.
How do you guys feel about Thor having no hammer?
It was weird at first. Like
Yeah.
when it happened, like it was just like, oh, okay. He's always had this and it's been there and now he doesn't. What's he gonna do now?
I was kind of scared because I didn't watch any of the trailers because I'm doing that now. But like Iron Man 3 was hot garbage because it was Tony Stark without his suit, which just makes for a boring movie.
Yeah.
Which scared me at first when I saw his hammer break, but this was all right.
Yeah, I like that he had to start learning other ways to be powerful.
What do you guys think of like the Sakaar planet?
It was. I liked it better than the Asgard stuff. I'll just say that.
That's true.
It felt like Planet 9 or
District
9?
District 9.
Yep.
Thank
It
you.
looked like
agree.
District 9.
Not, right. And then
Except not serious.
Yeah, not
no,
serious.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But like the environment and then like the inhabitants of it,
Mm-hmm.
it just gave me that vibe.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like Asgard in this movie, not like it's taken semi-seriously, but when the rest of the movie doesn't take itself seriously at all, there's like no stakes in the movie. Even though when they try to lay stakes down, it just doesn't matter.
And then kind of going from there, we know that this movie talks about, obviously it's called Thor Ragnarok, and we know Ragnarok refers to the end of the world or end of humanity, which we'll get into that later in this movie, but without revealing anything, did you guys like how that story played out in the end? Like, did it work for you?
Like I said, this movie has a weird vibe. For it being called Thor Ragnarok, which the Norse term for Ragnarok means end of world,
Yeah.
it's just kind of crazy how just like, oh, I'm happy and upbeat and everything, and I make funny jokes, and it's just like, oh nope, something might happen to where the world ends, but it's just fine. We're just gonna have a good time with everything and dry British humor and da da da.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, there's a lot of humor in this movie compared to obviously Thor and the Dark World. Did the new tone work for you guys?
I mean, for most of the jokes, it was funny, but then it seemed like they were trying too hard.
It's just okay. The first and second Thor have a very serious tone to them, and then just the shift to this is just it was very jarring for me. Like, this movie was trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's a double-edged sword because I think if you would have done, there might have been a medium here, but if you try to do a third Thor movie in the style they've been doing it, it's not going to do as well.
See, Guardians to me is fun with heart, and this movie just seemed like a lot of dumb fun. It didn't have a lot of stakes. It just like wanted you to have a good time, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
There's just the plot as a whole, like in Marvel Phase 4 or whatever phase it's in right now, like not a lot happened to like progress it along, in my opinion.
This felt like drama first and then action hero. Like,
Drama first.
not drama, comedy.
Definitely.
Like comedy came before
Yeah.
action hero. Yeah, I think that's nice. I think it's a good take on superhero movie.
The director, Taika Waititi,
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of his movies. Like, I've seen Eagle versus Shark, and then I've seen What We Do in the Shadows, which I really liked. Like, before the movie came out, they had this little, like, 3-minute segment of, like, Thor's roommate that they had. And it was directed...
yeah.
It was directed in the same, like, mockumentary style as what We Do in the Shadows was. And I loved that. I loved every bit of that, because it was just, like, super funny all the time. And that works in, like, a 3-minute chunk. But for a 2-hour, 10-minute movie, I just, like... I don't know. I feel I sound like a negative Ned over here, but I don't know.
I'm gonna play the counter argument here because I think there was stakes, and I think obviously we'll get to the stakes later, but I think there's just enough stakes for you to feel like there's something at risk here, and the movie does its best to balance the majority of the comedy with trying to keep, like I said, the very little Thor story that we have here.
Yeah, I've got a lot to say in spoilers because a lot of things should matter, but in the grand scope of things, they don't.
Yeah, I'm going to say that the humor had to work for this movie to sell. People liked the Thor-Hulk relationship that was developed in kind of the Avengers and Ultron, and like, even though I don't think it's intentional, people just clinged on to it. So like, hey, this works. The audience responds to it. Let's make a movie about it.
And I would say for the most part, like, this is like a tale of two cities. Like, the humor part that happened on Planet Hulk, I thought was the strongest part of the movie by far.
Really?
I did. And then when they tried to bring the humor back to Asgard, like in the first and third act, it's just kind of, okay, it's just weird because there's been some humor, but it's been a totally different type of humor. It's been like, kind of like Thor did this before Wonder Woman, but when Thor went to America, like went to the actual planet Earth, and he didn't know how to act towards everything, and he's just like a fish out of water, just like Wonder Woman was in that. It gave me a lot of similarities thinking back about it, because when with Kat Denning and what's her face, Natalie Portman, that first movie.
Yeah.
He's just like shocked by all these little things, and in the third movie, his humor goes from like fish out of water to like him thinking he's the best. Like him thinking like, oh, I'm the god of thunder. I know everything, and I'm just gonna give you like pity dialogue. It's just I don't know. A lot of it was funny, but a lot of it was ruined for me in the trailers with the jokes, and I think that's just where it's kind of hitting bad for me because I'm like, oh, I already laughed at that. I don't need to laugh at that again.
I was actually the opposite of what you said because you said, well, I was the opposite because I thought that the Planet Hulk was cool. Mm-hmm. It was interesting, but I thought it was boring in comparison to what was going on in Thor's
Asgard?
world in Asgard.
That's good. It's good to have a variety of.
Yeah, no, I like how we're not seeing eye to eye, which is a good thing. We can have a discussion.
Like I was okay when they finally left. Like I was like, good, finally, please get out of this world.
Is it okay if we start talking about characters?
No, we can talk about characters. I think let's go ahead and start with. We kind of already talked about Thor. He's went from very serious first two movies, Avengers movies, to a little more comedic here. Like his stakes are still serious to him.
Yeah.
but he takes it very lightly.
Like the last time we saw Thor was in Ultron, and he was having like this, like Matrix Reloaded like revelation in like a bathhouse,
right?
Like, oh, I need to do this, and he was super serious in that movie. So just going from Ultron to Ragnarok, it was just very weird.
I think this is what they should have done from the get-go.
They definitely should have.
I agree.
But if you would have asked Marvel how this 80s trend would have played back then, we never would have known that. You never would have known the Guardians humor would have stuck.
But that's exactly why you can't really hold it against his character because that's not his fault. It's not the character's fault. That's just bad writing.
No, I just think like
I think the writing's changed. I'm not sure if it's bad writing.
See, I feel like Chris Hemsworth in between all these Marvel movies, he's been in the reboot of Vacation. He was in the reboot of Ghostbusters, trying to be like a comedic actor, and now he's bringing that sensibility to Thor. Like I really feel like it's two different Thors.
Oh
It's
yeah,
very
I would
weird.
completely agree.
Yeah, but I feel like the main reason why it changed is because Chris Hemsworth as an actor is trying to be a more comedic presence. So Marvel is trying to like roll that in. Like when there were pitches for the third movie, Thor 1 and 2 made a lot of money, but I would guess that like it's probably the majority of people's like least favorite like franchise out of all the Marvel people. Like the movies are just okay. Like I like Captain America way better. They're his movies than Thor.
Well, this movie also says something. It's kind of self-aware about its first two movies, and we'll get into that in the spoilers because they do something regarding those first two movies.
Yeah, they do. I really want to talk about like how the second movie ends, and
where this
this
one picks
one,
up.
yeah, it's just like, okay, you're spoilers. I've got a lot to say about it.
We'll get into that.
Yeah,
A lot of these other characters we'll have to go into spoilers, but
Hela.
yeah. But
What do you think of her as a bad guy in general?
I liked her as a villain.
she's very one-dimensional,
You're right. Yeah, I would say the same.
but it works.
Kate Blanchett playing her, I thought she was spot on though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
There are a lot of Marvel villains that aren't that great.
Kind of a turd.
Yeah, and you can feel her presence every time she's on film. I loved her
Yeah,
playing
I thought
this
she
role.
did well.
I really did.
I don't know. She reminded me of like just another evil villain or female villain to me.
So you think like she's on the same realm as like Ronan the Destroyer in Guardians?
She strikes me as like Jolie in the other movie she was in.
Maleficent?
That's what she reminded me of. Like nothing was special about.
Wow.
Yeah, didn't really do anything for me. Like
That's crazy.
She filled a spot, and it was good. But like, if you ask me if she's better than any of the Marvel villains, I'd say no.
Yeah, her character, I was actually confused on which way they were trying to go.
Okay.
If they were trying to take her as like a serious villain, I don't know. Her character was the only one that was like got me confused because I didn't know which route they were trying to take with her. It was like she's kind of sadistic and pure evil, but at the same time she makes jokes.
Yeah.
Which I get it because they're trying to do that with the Thor movie, but at the same time, it's, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, it's almost as if like she belonged as a villain in one of like the first two Thor movies, to where she could have been pure evil.
Yeah.
But since this movie has comedic elements, she has to have them too.
Yeah. And then what do you guys think about Jeff Goldblum as the Grandmaster? We kind of get a tease of him in the trailer, and like I don't know, I think the trailer does a good
Oh,
Okay, I thought he was the funniest out of the entire movie.
This is Jeff Goldblum turn up to 11. Like he is
I
going
loved
full
it.
Jeff Goldblum
yeah.
in this movie.
Imagine like the his line in Jurassic Park where must go faster. That exaggerated and like a lot of it.
See, I was thinking his Hotels.com ads, except
Or
like
that too.
turned up
Yeah.
all the way.
Yeah.
Just total exaggeration, but it was great.
Me and Brent were in tears in some of his
Yeah.
like lines or like some of his movements or
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he was such a like flamboyant
No,
character in this, and it was so great.
The
that
way-
I
the
just
way-
wanted more.
Yeah.
The way he talks about Asgard was hilarious.
Yeah, it's almost like watching Michael Scott from The Office at some points.
Very much
Right.
so.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
No, he was a very good character in this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, if I remember Planet Hulk correctly, the Grand Master is not really that kind of character, but the spin they put him in this movie especially with Jeff Goldblum, works fantastically.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's good.
I liked it a lot. All right, so that being said, at this point in the show, we're going to go into the spoiler zone. If you look to your YouTube timestamps or the podcast, you'll see where you can jump back into our review and spoiler-free section. But
Spoiler.
that what the hell is that?
I'm guessing in like a nuclear alarm sound,
It's a
but
spoiler warning.
that sounded like
That
a,
did not
It's
sound
from
like that.
Star Wars.
that
From the
sounded.
very first, number 7, the alarm that's going off.
No, I got it, but it
Yeah, I
sounded.
know
like,
what you're trying to do. It's just sad.
it sounded like
Sound like a bird.
it sounded like a crow getting.
I'll never fucking do that
circumcised
again.
or something.
Like you're laying an egg over there, bud? All right, so guys, let's dive in some details here. Starting with the story. Let's just start with the beginning of the movie. We see Thor in a cage.
Yeah.
And he's talking about, I got into this situation. I'm with the Infinity Stones, and I'm kind of you get the sense that he's planned to be there.
It was interesting because I really thought they were breaking the fourth wall for a 2nd. I thought I was okay with it actually,
But nope, he was just talking to a skeleton
Yep.
in his cage.
which is okay too. It was funny.
That very first scene kind of set the tone for the whole movie. Like he's talking serious,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you see the skeleton, and it turns comedic instantly, and it's great.
And the thing is, the first 15 minutes of this movie, I wanted way more of, because this felt like the cartoon Heavy Metal, except in a real life Marvel movie, and I just pure
Sure.
80s, just thrown up.
Right, and then when he
It's-
falls down in front of the guy,
Yeah.
and then he's just like, "Oh wait,
Yeah.
let me spin back around here." Okay, what were we saying? Go ahead.
Well, and then all the main bad guy is just like a huge fire devil.
Yeah,
Like a demon.
That guy looked awesome.
Yeah, he did.
Like all the little creatures he was fighting wasn't it just like a whole bunch of skeletons.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
And
the
then
dragon.
like the
Just-
dragon he had.
All heavy metal 80s, and I
Yeah.
loved it. I wish they would have pushed it like Far Cry Blood Dragon, like just go 100% 80s all the time. I would have loved this movie so much more.
Well, that first scene kind of set the tone because, like, this demon, which talks about Ragnarok and the ultimate destruction of Asgard, like in any of the Thor movie or your early Marvel movies, this guy would have been the ultimate bad guy.
This-
the like total seriousness. But then you got Thor, who's twisting a chain. He's like, "Oh, hang on, I got to come back around," and that's when the comedy kicks in. And like the bad guy's taking it seriously.
Well,
But Thor's just like, "Sorry."
That chain part was funny the first time, then they went back around a second time.
And then a third time, and
Yeah.
then it just needed to be done.
I was okay with it.
It's like, we got the point.
I was okay with like 80 to 85% of the humor. Like
Okay.
I didn't feel like they forced a lot of it.
If you would ask me if that demon character was important, I would have said, "Oh, we're just moving past this demon character," but we find out he comes back later. But like that
Oh.
intro to him
Huge part.
is a huge part.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was funny like how easy he defeated him.
Right.
Yeah. Like it's just like, yeah, I'm Thor.
Wearing
I'm-
my crown. Oh, I thought those were your eyebrows.
Yeah.
Like I don't know Thor comics or lore at all, but you would figure Ragnarok, that character, like any other context, would be the ultimate destruction, the end. And it still works in this movie, but totally reinterpreted, which works just fine. But that being said, we kind of get to Asgard, and like we said earlier, that Asgard's not really a huge role in this movie, but it kind of takes like the beginning and the main conclusion, essentially.
Yeah, well, this is where like I started having a bad taste in my mouth about this movie, because at the end of Thor: The Dark World, it ends with Loki sitting on the throne, turning into Odin, and you think, oh my god, a whole bunch of serious shit's about to go down. And then nope, he's just eating grapes, like just having Matt Damon play him, in a play that he's
Yeah.
watching.
That was a weird.
You knew
That was Matt Damon.
right?
I did not know
That
that.
was totally Matt Damon.
Yes.
Oh, that makes it that much better.
Hilarious.
How didn't you know that?
I didn't know. I didn't notice him.
No, I didn't know he was in the movie. So when I saw him, I was like, "Oh my god, that's Matt Damon."
Well, he's
didn't know?
uncredited.
no,
Oh, I'm glad I didn't say anything.
you knew?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad he didn't say
read
anything
something,
either.
but-
Yeah, no, because I was just like, "Oh my god, Matt Damon is doing this," which is kind of funny, even
Hilarious.
on a meta level because Ben Affleck's Batman. So
Right.
DC
No, that's
Marvel shit
hilarious.
again. Yeah. That part was just weird because it was just played for comedic effect, and I should have known better because this movie is going for a totally different tone of any other Thor movie. It's just like second movie just left you on such a cliffhanger, and it just like resolves itself by this.
And like Jake said, like that's a huge cliffhanger in 2, but then in this one, like it's addressed immediately, and then we move on. We move on past it. It's not a big deal. But and then like
Loki said, "Oh, Odin's in this retirement home on Earth,"
oh that's right.
and
that's
then
right.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Doctor
Oh, I
Strange.
loved it.
No, I didn't like
They
this
need
at
to
all.
start adding more of Doctor Strange.
No,
into
this
things.
felt just like, oh, okay, yeah, Doctor Strange was in Doctor Strange. We need to add him into more MCU
Well-
stuff. This felt like such a throwaway.
That's how they ended Doctor Strange, though. Was with Odin meeting him.
right.
You remember that?
I do, but that could have been fine just on a stinger of Doctor Strange. Like the way they added him in there is just like, oh yeah, we got a stinger on Doctor Strange. We have to throw him into Ragnarok somewhere. I didn't like it.
I liked that part.
Yeah.
I thought that was a fun.
I didn't find anything about that 5-minute segment funny. Like
What?
they just like transfer like, oh, I have like whatever. You want tea? Oh no, you want a big beer? Okay, I'll drink it, and then you can magically refill it.
Did they
I don't know.
did they need to rehash the exact same tidbit from?
No.
But I mean that's just I'm just saying. Like it could have been maybe skip forward, but I don't think it suffered from having him in it. But did it need to be as long as it did? Probably not.
I really didn't like it.
I was 100% okay with it. I thought the
I
jokes were
liked
good,
it. I thought it
and then
was
I
fun.
thought Loki falling for 30 minutes was good too.
That part was good.
Yeah, that joke. So we learn that Doctor Strange kind of helps him find his dad, and then Loki and Thor go find Odin, who's in Norway, I believe.
Yeah.
And then we learn that Odin is passing due to age, I would assume.
Yeah, right by a massive green screen
Oh
because
my
that
God.
looks so bad.
So when
Yeah.
he died, and then he like floats into the sky as dust, I looked at Anthony and said, "Remember who you are."
And then I looked at Brent and said, Kimba. I mean, Simba.
Of course, you guys did.
Oh man!
Can I just say, like Anthony Hopkins, he played two roles. He played Loki playing Odin, and then he played Old Man Odin.
Yeah.
And when he was Loki playing Odin, it looked like he was having a goddamn ball.
Yeah, I think he was having fun, which is awesome.
He looked amazing. He's just like, oh yeah, I finally get to do something different. But no, he turns into regular Old Man Odin. Like, oh yeah, I'm an old man. I guess I'm too old. I'm gonna die. Like when he played that, I could just tell he did not give a single fuck.
No, which was great. He did probably because he's playing Loki, who thought he was on top of the world at that point, right?
Yeah, well, when Thor got all of his like shit crushed and trying to do like the thunder powers and everything, and you just randomly like zoomed into Odin,
Right.
He just gave like a nothing face, just zooming into
Right.
him, just like yo, I'm old.
Right.
Just it looked very dumb. I don't know.
When Odin passed away in Norway, that's when we're introduced to Hela, who turns out to be Thor and Loki's older sister and the
Yeah,
rightful
the firstborn.
Yeah, the rightful claim to the throne. And we learn that Hela is the goddess of death, and she has obviously immense powers, being Odin's firstborn and the goddess of death.
Yeah.
And we learn that she also kicks ass. She's like the ultimate bad guy.
The only thing that kind of bothered me about it is they kept. So if they had just left it where he was like, "When I die, she's going to be released." If they just left it at that, I'd been fine with it. But they keep coming back to it later in the movie, how like he chained her up and does this, but they don't actually ever say like, did he sacrifice some of his life force to keep her chained up and whatever?
Is that really
We
important?
learned that Odin was bad too.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
like thousands of years of Odin and his daughter Hela conquered
Yeah.
the universe.
I don't know. Sometimes I'm hit and miss with that kind of stuff, whether they explain stuff or not. But for some reason with this, I wanted it.
I would have liked another couple minutes
Yeah.
of that for sure.
That would have been cool too. Mm-hmm.
I think the painting does good enough justice
And
for my
that
part.
that was really cool because just like the artwork they had on there, like this has been up there for all the 2 Thor movies, but then she just cracks it like, no, this is the real truth. He's
Yeah.
just covering everything up like he always does.
If they had done like kind of like flashbacks of what the painting kind of does, so either during the painting of where they actually have live flashbacks of it.
Yeah.
But like in a gray haze.
They don't
or,
like that.
Or when she first meets Thor and like tries to break his ideal of what Odin means to him.
So there's two different types of like painting aesthetics that they have in this movie. It's the one where there's like the stained glass window effect, but then there's the one of Valkyrie and her flashback when she's facing Hela.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, I wanted more of that because
Yeah.
they only did that for like 90 seconds in
Yeah.
the movie. I wanted way more of
Right.
that. That looks so cool.
Imagine they did that again, but
Yeah.
with what Helena did with Odin.
I would have
I
loved
would've
that.
liked that.
Yeah,
too.
I think that would have been great.
Yeah.
And then continuing with the story, Hela goes back to Asgard, and I was going to ask you guys about this scene where she just she defeats Thor and Loki. They get called back to Asgard via like the Bifrost, and on the way, Thor and Loki get thrown out into some alternate planet, which we learn is Sakaar later. But Hela gets back to Asgard and just disregards half the Thor cast.
Yep. This is another thing I didn't like about it.
She comes back from the portal, kills like half of Thor's childhood friends, and we learn in other scenes that she pretty much just takes over the town.
It's like, oh, Zachary Levi, you're Shazam, you're dead. You're not part of Marvel anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
And just like, yeah, it's just, I know that she's like the goddess of death or whatever she is, but like all of his friends could have put up more of a fight. Like only one of the people was able to put up a fight. Like the other guys just magically died from like one shard to the heart.
So we learn that Thor and Loki kind of end up on Sakaar after their trip or their attempt to get to Asgard. We learn that at this point Thor has lost his hammer and he ends up in Sakaar, not sure exactly where he's at. He gets captured and kind of thrown into what ends up being this Colosseum. And through the Colosseum interaction, Thor learns kind of the context of Sakaar and meets some like additional characters. We meet Valkyrie, who captures him, and then we meet like some other like contenders like of the Colosseum.
Yeah, like there's this rock guy who is like only there for comedic effect, but he's the funniest part of the movie.
Which was
Korg.
amazing.
yeah.
Korg was hilarious.
Korg and what's the slug guy?
Meek.
Meek.
Korg and Meek.
Yeah, those guys were good.
So, fun fact, Korg, he is voiced by Taika Waititi, the director.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it kind of, I know why he put his own voice in there because he's hilarious.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. No, he's a really good addition, and he's the funniest part of the movie by
He's
far.
just like, yeah, Meek has swords for hands. just random, but it's hilarious.
or the random guy that died is like, oh, you're the new Fred, or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
You're the new Doug.
You're the new Doug.
Yeah, exactly. So we learned through the contenders that the Grandmaster, Jeff Goldblum, has been on this planet and kind of runs this Colosseum, and then he has a champion, and the champion's been undefeated. And it turns out when Thor enters the Colosseum, Thor is obviously regarded as like this newcomer. Everybody wants the champion to win. The champion ends up being the Hulk, and we don't know at this point how the Hulk got to Sakaar. But after Thor tries to talk to the Hulk before they start fighting, that Hulk's not really responding to Thor as much as Thor wanted him to. We'll learn the context later. But how'd that fight scene sit with you guys? Just them duking it out.
It was solid fun. It was a good 5 minutes of fighting. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was cool to see kind of Hulk go Hulk and like basically that you know that one scene in Avengers 1 where Hulk just pushes Thor in the jet, like smashes him with his hand.
Yeah.
Like that's what I think people had wanted since that scene. Just Hulk and Thor duking it out.
Which I can see, like, I feel like this movie is the equivalent of Hulk punching Thor like that. Like, just imagine that 2-second segment, that comedy, but a whole movie.
Yeah,
I feel like that's this movie.
I can see that. I think
Yeah.
that's what spawned this. That's what started all this.
Yeah, I didn't really put 2 and 2 together before, but that's totally what this movie is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through this fight, we learned that Thor could easily beat Hulk, but the Grandmaster intervenes and wants his champion to win. During the fight scene with Hulk, like I guess we experienced this earlier, but we kind of see it a little more fleshed out here. We just see like Thor use his like lightning powers full stream here against the Hulk. We never seen Thor in previous movies use lightning to this effect,
Well,
and that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, he's always had Mjolnir.
Exactly.
And that's what has affected his lightning power.
Yeah, so seeing him smash the Hulk in that regard, and that's kind of what turned the tide of the battle. Well, that's kind of cool. I like to see we get to see more of that, but seeing the Hulk or Thor summon lightning like that and use it to that extent was awesome.
Did you want more of that, or did you get enough from that from the movie?
Well, no, I mean, I got that he's just trying to figure out how to go about like getting all this lightning power. Like, I get that there has to be like a push and pull with him, like figuring out his powers. Like that's superhero 101.
Yeah, I just that the ending was so. I want more of that Thor.
Well, that's why they had it at the ending because it was so good.
Right.
Yeah. And then kind of skipping ahead here, there's some. We learned that the Hulk has been stuck in Hulk form for 2 years, ever since the end of Ultron, because on Sakaar, for some reason, Hulk kind of dominates his mind.
That's one part that I wanted more of in this movie. Like when you go to Ultron and he's just going into space, I thought we would get like what actually happened in Ragnarok. But no, it's just like, oh no, my ship crash landed and I just got thrown in here.
Yeah, I think like maybe they just leave it for you to kind of piece it together. But he's on a planet where he doesn't really know anybody. He doesn't have his friends, who actually he denies they're friends, but he is their friend.
Yeah. Well, they also kind of tease the idea of like Hulk's powers are kind of changing to an extent, which we fleshed out later.
Yeah, maybe.
But we learned from Banner, which Hulk gets back to Banner eventually. But Banner kind of hints that I've been a Hulk for 2 years and I can feel the Hulk side taking over.
I would have loved a Hulk flashback scene to where like he gets crash landed and you go through like a 90-minute to 2-minute or 90-second to 2-minute process of like him winning all of these fights and him getting more and more cocky and him like just being like more and more arrogant when he's going through all these fights. I think that'd be a fun way to get humor back into the movie too, because this movie is full of comedy. Could have been a good way to like get
they briefly
Hulk's backstory into the Planet Hulk.
Yeah, because I think there's definitely like a very quick moment where Hulk looks around the crowd when they're chanting Hulk, and like, or maybe it was at that point it could have been Thunder God or something like that. But you can tell that Hulk is enjoying being this champion.
Well, yeah, every time like he goes in, he just like relishes in all the cheering for him, and there's signs, there's big ass Hulk heads.
Well, as soon as he walks out, he's just like roaring the crowd up
with green smoke.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've seen like the Hulk side of Banner like actually kind of take a personality per se. We'd never seen this kind of personality from the Hulk in any of the MCU previous to this point.
No, he's always just been like Hulk smash.
Right.
Yeah, I guess I'm picturing like a scene where like he beats the current champion, and then like everyone goes silent. And then he just like screams, and then everyone like he's like scared that no one's gonna like him, but then everyone just freaking loves him.
Yeah,
You wish that scene would have been in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish
gotcha.
that. Yeah, like I said, like no Doctor Strange part, and just like put more backstory into some of the stuff that needed it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
Earth hate Hulk.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that's the other part is we have Hulk talking in this movie.
Yeah,
How'd
quite
that
a
work for
bit.
you guys?
I thought it was okay.
yeah. It took a little bit for me to like kind of understand like the vocal tones that he was.
Yeah.
Like,
It was weird,
talking
yeah,
in,
just
but-
because you're not used to it. But
Yeah.
it ended up being great.
It was
Wasn't
funny.
too much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like we talked about before, like his face capture performance was really
times better.
Right.
awesome. Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
cool. You could tell that was Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah,
Had he had like a heart-touching moment with someone with him trying to talk like the Hulk, it would have been
sure.
Well, he almost did
I
when he saw
know.
that Scarlett Johansson
Yeah,
projection.
true.
Well, that's when he got turned back into Bruce Banner.
And that
Yeah.
scene where he's in the ship and he's turning back to his human
Banner?
form,
Yeah.
Banner. Oh, damn, that's good.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Yeah, where
the
it like
transitioning?
flashes human skin color and then just like his like size like fluctuates. Like that was great.
Well, there was one other time where Bruce Banner was about to turn back into Hulk,
Yeah, he
and
gets
you got
mad and-
like
Yeah,
green
yeah.
veins going down, and that looked cool too.
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
And then we learned that Hulk has kind of a training relationship with Valkyrie. We learned that Valkyrie, at this point in the movie, she is a old, I guess Valkyrie. She's used to be
Is
a
her
protector.
name? Is her name Valkyrie?
Yeah, that's what she's credited as.
That's weird because I know she's part of the Valkyrie. Did we ever get her name, or is she just
I don't
like
think we ever got her name.
okay?
At least I don't remember. Do you guys?
Well,
No.
I guess she's the last one. So Valkyrie is
What does the Grand Master call her? He calls her something.
Like B132 or like,
Oh, is it
like a
just a
number.
unit number?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
that's kind of weird too. Like the Valkyrie, like when you do see them, they're riding unicorns or Pegasus.
Yeah.
Like that army that's like kind of separate but still attached to the throne and defending Odin, which is like way better than any army that Asgard actually has.
I know it's
really weird.
and it's weird if they're this well known, we haven't heard about them until the third Thor movie.
Right.
Yeah,
It's just very strange. And Thor's like fangirling over
Yeah.
seeing an actual Valkyrie person.
Yeah. And then she ends up being the love interest, which
No, I wouldn't even say that.
that's kind of teased.
No, they just are buddy buddy. Like he needs people for.
the scene where they both jump off the ship and then into the ship with.
Okay, that's the only
Banner.
part.
Oh,
That's literally the only
that
part.
and yeah, we're not together anymore. I broke up with her.
Well, that
now he's single.
Remember the part where like Hulk at the end of the movie where Thor jumps out of the ship and she's like, go get him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that was supposed to be like a
Where he just plops on the ground and is Bruce Banner dead? And now he's officially all Hulk.
Oh, that part was hilarious.
Oh
Like,
man,
is he
I don't know
dead?
about that part.
that
No,
part.
Banner has to come back.
Does he though?
I think he does.
He said, "If I ever go back to being the Hulk, I'll never come
I
back."
think that's just creating stakes for the Hulk
Yeah,
that
he
will be
looked
fleshed out
dead.
later.
That is what he said, and that part was really funny.
It was
but
hilarious because you were just expecting him to just
But then
jump
again,
down as the
Bruce
Hulk.
Banner can't die because of Hulk.
Yeah, how morbid
That's
would that
true.
be if Bruce Banner's death was played for laughs?
Exactly.
There's no way that would happen.
Mark Ruffalo would not have that.
well, he
Not,
might.
not with no,
It was
I don't-
funny.
not with his continuing story that's supposed to be happening here.
Yeah.
And so then going off the story, we learn with Valkyrie, Hulk, and Loki at this point, who's kind of helping Thor and kind of wholesome.
But also scheming.
Yeah, not by choice. Like
Yeah.
he's like in chains when Thor sees him again.
Just that's not like or Thor and Dark World scheming. It's like comedic scheming. Like Thor's like, "Oh, okay, Loki, I know your bit. You're gonna help me. I know your tricks."
It's like he goes from the Joker to the Riddler. Like
Yeah.
this movie, he's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get you, but I'm not gonna get you bad. I'm just gonna get you kind of bad.
right. So then Thor, Loki, Hulk, and Valkyrie go back to Asgard, and that's when shit kind of hits the bed. We learn that
Shit hits the bed.
Shit hits the fan
I say bed
Why does shit hit a bed?
because that's what happens at John's house.
We're not throwing it at the fan. We're throwing it back in our bed.
All right.
I don't know where I was at.
No, but anyway, so they
They
go
go
back
to
to
Asgard,
Asgard
where
through,
shit hits
through
the
the
bed.
devil's anus.
Oh yeah, the Devil's Anus.
Yeah.
They have like a Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Wars, like
Portal thing.
yeah.
It's just they're like a big swarm of clouds in the sky they call the devil's anus.
There's a lot of part that there's a lot of parts that partake in the end here. First one being like Thor finally gets his powers like fleshed out after having like a small battle with Hela, or Thor has a daydream with Odin, and Odin says, the power of is not your hammer. It's it's you. Like you're not the god of hammers. You're the god of thunder.
Well, he also says something about like Asgard isn't a place.
Yeah, it's
like
It's people.
Right.
Yeah.
Lightning
So like in
on
that
thunder.
final revelation, like Thor finally comes to like full potential.
I'm coming.
Exactly. And then we go like the whole final sequence pretty much takes place on this bridge, right? What did you guys say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just remember the part where Loki is lying down and the rock guy comes by. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna take this ship and go okay if you want to join us."
You need a leader. Looks like you need a leader.
How was the ending for you
yeah,
guys?
cool.
Yeah.
Like for the final third
right
act.
after he just said, "You're not the god of hammer." And Jake, I think you told me this last night. Why didn't he come back with all the thunder and it's the song "Thunderstruck"? Not
Because he's the god of lightning.
I definitely didn't say anything about Thunderstruck, but I'm kind of mad they used Immigrant Song twice, like at the beginning of
Right?
this movie and the end. It's like,
Thunderstruck was perfect.
well, Led Zeppelin costs a lot of money to
Yeah.
license to put in a movie, so I'm like, oh, if we had to buy it, let's just use it twice.
Yeah, I don't think it hurt it.
But
it
it
was
just
just
would have been
weird.
fun for Thunderstruck, like the beginning of
That'd have been
Thunderstruck.
too cheesy.
That sounds too much like Iron Man.
Yeah.
yeah,
He did a lot of AC/DC stuff.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
Being picky over music.
But the ending, do you guys feel? So we learn they have a huge fight. They actually, in order to save Asgard slash its
destroy it.
mostly its people, they destroy it, summoning Ragnarok. Like that part was very cool. Seeming like this big demon character to destroy this world that we've known for several movies now, just gone, completely wiped out the place of the planet, and then Asgard and the main cast of this movie take on a ship and head out to space.
Yeah. But before that, Hulk tries to destroy Ragnarok. He's like, "But giant monster!" Yeah, that part was funny because they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, we've defeated it. Or
Right.
we'll just let him like destroy everything. Let's go back." And you just see Hulk in the background just
Right.
running
'Cause
towards it.
It's the destroyer who killed Helena.
Yeah.
Hela.
Sorry.
Yeah, she tries to save it 'cause she wants to
Helena.
be the queen of Asgard, and then you just
I actually liked how Ragnarok was the one who had to kill Hela. I actually really liked that part.
Do you think she's dead? Like it didn't really show anything.
yeah. She. I mean the
That's up to interpretation.
the
but
planet
like,
exploded.
Yeah.
if Ragnarok's supposed to be as catastrophic as it's supposed to be,
Yeah,
you
the
think
plan- yeah.
you
They
think
got
he would-
away like so casually, and he just let them.
I would just love to see Hela like part of like Thanos' army. I think she would be a really good addition to that.
Right.
And if she's dead, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
She just seemed kind of OP.
Yeah, it would be really cool.
Yeah, but
But yeah, I had no idea what the ship was at the very end. It looked like that curly Q thing from Guardians of the Galaxy.
When you said Thanos, I mean, that's a perfect way to bring him in.
Yeah, but does anybody here know what that ship was? 100%? Because I don't.
No.
No.
Okay, I'm guessing comic book nerds do. I just don't.
Yeah, so Jake's talking about here at the post
can
credits
find it.
scene where Thor, his crew, and the Asgard civilization is in a ship. Pretty much they were going to Earth is what the plan was, but then the end credit scene shows the ship come up and kind of presumably disrupts their plans.
yeah,
Yeah.
being
We don't know
intercepted.
where that goes, but hopefully we'll find out later. We've kind of gone through the story here. Let's kind of do rapid fire real quick of these main characters. Did you guys enjoy Thor in this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Thought his progression of super serious hero to comedy, like we said earlier, was good.
Yeah, weirdly, it felt like this was his like up and coming, like his whatever like their first film.
But does Thor's character like this translate into the future MCU?
Yeah. Is Thor going to be this funny in Infinity War?
Yeah, this is what I expected. This is what I wanted them to do with it.
I don't know. Infinity War is supposed to be. I feel like it's got to be serious.
In every
if people start dying,
well, in every Avenger
can't-
movie, well, he's got a serious side.
It will be serious,
Yeah.
but like even in Avengers 1 and 2, there's still a comedic tone
Right.
to it.
that's
Exactly.
true. But you got a lot of other casts that can do comedy better than Hemsworth. So I thought the biggest upset for me, at least, was Loki. Loki going from super serious sorcerer to what he is in this movie, like that kind of just rubbed me just the wrong way. Probably the most part of this movie.
They toyed with him turning evil again.
His character's never changed in any of the movies.
Yeah, he's always been like sneaky weasel.
But he's also like, oh yeah, I'm bad, but not really.
Yeah, but like the fact that they're like at the end there when they're talking about, so you think I'm gonna be welcome back to Earth? Well, probably not. You killed thousands of people. Mm-hmm. But like this fact that they make a joke out of it, that was the whole Avengers movie. Like they just
but
made a
even
joke.
at-
They just made a joke out of it.
But even at the end of that, where they're like, oh yeah, your plans are thwarted, Loki's like, oh, okay, let's go home.
That was so 2009, John.
I know, but
No one cares anymore.
I think that just goes to like the tone of this movie. Obviously, they're okay to just wipe away the past and take a whole new spin on it. We talked about Hela. Hela was great. I think she was one dimensional, but you guys thought she was cool.
Hela was really cool
Yeah.
in this movie. Like, definitely, in my opinion, upper echelon of villains in the MCU, for sure.
I thought her wolf companion was the coolest thing about her.
Yeah, even though like nothing happened with the wolf, which is very disappointing. Just a thing for Hulk to fight.
That and the endless supply of just random flying blades.
That was cool. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
No, I thought it was
part-
cool, but
That helmet though,
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
loved like how spiky and huge and long it was.
Like every
Yeah.
time she went into a battle, like it spawned
Yeah.
from her head.
Looked
That part was sweet.
there's one
Badass.
scene where like she's walking up and the shadows on the ground, and it just shows her helmet on the
Yeah,
ground like that.
yeah.
Was sweet.
Valkyrie. Thought she was cool in this movie. Thought she served a purpose, and she was good.
The ending with her was really cool, where she was actually like in her Valkyrie garb.
Yeah, that part was awesome.
That part was really cool.
It was kind of weird because she was really the only character that they did a good amount of character development on,
yeah,
which I liked it.
for sure. And you would think she's going to be like in Infinity War. Like Infinity War is supposed to have like 100 plus
Yeah.
people in it.
Yeah, I thought she
So.
actually of all the people, she had one of the greatest stories.
Okay.
And then, like, we always talked about the Grandmaster. Jeff Goldblum was awesome in it. And then we had a lot of these side characters that were also good. So I think, as far as, like, casting goes and characters go, it's solid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say the best comedy in this movie by far is Meek and Thor.
Korg.
Meek and Cork.
Korg.
I don't even remember them. I just remember they're funny. Cork.
Yeah.
So before we get back to the non-spoiler section again, how do you guys feel about the tone of this movie? And I talked to Jake about this after the movie. It's kind of disregard for what happened in Thor in the Dark World. Like, it doesn't ignore story plots, but it takes like, we know you guys didn't like the first two movies, so we're just going to do a whole different tone, and they actually kind of make a nod to that several times throughout this film.
Yeah, I almost get like the sense of kind of how Star Wars is with episode 1, 2, and 3. They're like, they happened, but we kind of shuffle them underneath the mat.
They don't actually do that. They don't say anything about that in the movie. Thor Ragnarok kind of makes a point to say, like, we know we don't like Thor 1 and 2, so we're just going to do a whole different tone with this one.
Right.
But yeah, like they still like everything that happened in Thor 1 and 2 still happened, and like the ending of Thor 2 led to Thor Ragnarok. So it's weird. Like they existed, just like
the tone totally changed. It went from super serious Norse god mythology stuff to still that, but this is hilarious, you guys.
But like that part where like Hela comes back and just destroys Thor's cast from the first two movies, like that's just like to me kind of like I shouldn't take it so personally, like a slap in the face.
No, I took it the same way too.
To those movies.
I think that's just them showing that that are holding on to 1 and 2. Get over it. We're done with this.
Yeah,
Like,
and
we're killing these people just as fast.
I
as
get that, but I'm just saying it bothered me. That's all.
And the girl that was part of Thor's group was magically not there.
Yeah.
Like not magically not on Asgard. Like
Right.
what?
Yeah, like-
shouldn't she be destroyed?
Yeah, part of his crew. Yeah.
Very weird.
I was okay with Odin just going away. Right? Like he was a big deal in 1 and 2, but him just kind of going away for the third one was okay.
I didn't even
He's
care
old.
for him for 1 and 2. So
He just farted away in the wind.
yeah,
So. Left a dust cloud.
I'm gonna crop dust. Here we go, boys.
And then I think we're all okay with just have pretty much the Thor setting Asgard just being demolished and gone away with, right? We got that. Was that part okay with you guys?
They're not going to ever need to go back to Asgard for anything.
Yeah, I'm guessing in Infinity War, galaxies are going to get destroyed. So, like a
Probably.
little Asgard world getting destroyed, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's going to matter at all.
Yeah. Did the whole no Natalie Portman thing, like just the way they took care of that, was that okay with you guys?
It was like a side comment.
Set up a new love interest.
Like the selfie when Thor was taking him. He's like, oh, I'm sorry about you and Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, oh, actually, I broke up with her. And
Yeah.
they just played it off as a joke.
Right. Yeah. Does that work for you guys? Is
I
it
don't
okay?
care. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah, who
Yeah.
cares?
I've never cared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to see where they take how Thor, especially with Thor's trilogy now being done, how do they handle him in the Infinity Wars going forward? So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I'm excited because it's Thor and Hulk and Loki and Valkyrie all as like a big unit. And if what Anthony said is correct with Thanos' ship gathering all of them, I'm guessing the Guardians of the Galaxy will try to go and help save them. And that's how they will get introduced to some people of the Avengers. And that's how they will all go to Earth and be one giant conglomerate. So that's
the biggest part. They need to start tying in. That's why I didn't hate the Doctor Strange part. They need to start tying in these characters. I mean, it's got to eventually happen instead of just the movie. Oh, hey, we're all part of the same team. High five.
Well, I don't think their plan is to have everyone on the same screen at the same time. I
some
think they're
point.
supposed to have multiple things going on within the galaxy.
No, it said there's going to be one fight that has over 100 people in that fight.
No, I don't like that at all.
Well, it's happening, whether you like it or not.
We'll see what happens when it comes that time. All right, so welcome back to the non-spoiler section of the show, and we're going to go over some box office details before we give to our star reviews here.
Ooh, those spoiler discussions were heated. Am I right?
Did you guys cheat and listen?
So just to go over some, it's the Friday after the opening, just to give you some preliminary numbers here. The Thursday opening for Ragnarok pulled in $14.5 million, that's pretty good. That stacks up with some of the best Marvel releases up to this point.
Sure.
This movie is projected to open between 100 and 110 million. And just to give this perspective here, Thor 1, which opened back in 2011, pulled in 65 million. And then The Dark World, when it opened, pulled in 88 million. So this is obviously a good level of progression for this trilogy.
And Thor 2 was garbage, so that making 88 million opening weekend is ridiculous.
We didn't know it was garbage at the time, but
Yeah.
the hype and the Thor trilogy came to a good conclusion.
It's just crazy that adding Hulk to a Thor movie is magically going to add $30 million to its box office.
It's like adding Iron Man to Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good point.
These
People love
tie-ins,
Hulk.
these tie-ins are helping. So, all right, guys, we've dissected enough here. We've all have our opinions. Let's do our 5 stars here. Let's kick it off with Anthony here.
All right, in the past couple of podcasts, I've been pretty low. So I did enjoy this movie. I thought it was fun. I have a couple of things to say about it that maybe I didn't care for as much, but I still think it hit a 3.5 solid.
Brent?
I concur. 3.5. I thought all the acting was fantastic. I thought the humor was overdone just a little bit, but overall, I thought it was great. And then, I don't know, it just the storyline didn't bother me, and I thought it was great.
Jake?
I think after rewatches, this movie's going to go way down for me. Right now, I think this movie is barely better than average. An average would be 2.5 stars. I'll do 3 stars. I think this had solid laughs, but a lot of it was spoiled in the trailer, and I hate it when that happens. So yeah, 3 out of 5.
I'm going to go with the majority here and say 3.5 stars here. I think for this movie, for me, I think it's going to be the opposite than Jake. I think there's a lot of things that bother me when I left the theater, but I think one of those movies that after watching some other Marvel movies and kind of sitting on it for a night, I feel like this is going to be a movie I enjoy more as time passes.
Well, I'm going to buy it because it's going to come out in a steelbook, so I have to buy it. But I don't know if this will be one that I rewatch more than once. I really don't.
Yeah, it's just weird because critics who are not big nerd buffs like we are really enjoying this movie just because it's so different.
It's crazy.
Like, people are responding so well to this formula it's very anti-Marvel compared to its stereotypical setup. But
I wanted this movie to be more like that heavy metal cartoon. Like, I wanted it to be like 100% that, and it's only like 20% that.
Right. So, yeah, depends on where you fall. This movie could be a lot of fun or just a good movie for you. Mm-hmm. So, go check it out yourself. All right, let's jump to the final section of our podcast, and that is going to be movie trivia featuring the Clipmaster himself.
Brent. Nah, the podcast guy.
He is the master of all clips, the movie man. All right, Brent, will you drop clip number 1 on us?
Yeah.
What'd you do to get this role? You always said you were such a frigid little girl. What did you do to make him change his mind?
Edward Scissorhands?
What's going on here?
Hey.
That was
I need
Winona
to
Ryder.
talk to you. I need to talk to you.
Go home.
No,
Sleepy
don't
Hollow.
you do that. Don't you
Alien 3?
kiss me like that.
Girl Interrupted.
My little princess, please hold it together.
I'm coming by later. I have something for you. It's a token of my appreciation.
Right.
You make the most of it, Nina.
Then I'm lost.
All right, yeah, we're going to need some details for this one, Brent.
2010
Wow. Okay.
drama thriller. We'll go Vincent Cassel.
Vincent Cassel.
Yeah.
Black Swan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, ding, 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 ding. Nice. I did not recognize that at all.
So was that Mila Kunis? Or was that
You're right,
Natalie
that did-
Portman?
That was
That's-
Natalie Portman and some
Wow.
drunk
That
chick.
sounded just like Winona Ryder.
I thought so too.
All right,
All
Jake's
right.
on the board with 1 point with Black Swan. Saw that movie once, and that was all I needed.
It was a good movie.
Yeah, it was
You won't
okay.
watch
I've seen it like
again?
4
I've
times.
seen it like once, and that was good.
I have
No, the
never
more-
seen it.
It's a good one.
No, I'm not even going to give you shit. It's okay if you don't see it. But I like the movie.
I did too.
All right, clip number 2.
Alpha Centauri. At a distance of 4.4 light years from Earth, the Alpha
Star Wars.
Centauri system is our nearest stellar neighbor.
Galaxy
the largest
Quest.
of its 2 sun-like stars.
Lost in Space.
Fuck, I
Alpha
know what this
Centauri,
is.
or ACA to astronomers, is Pandora's sun.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Pandora is one of many moons orbiting the planet
Avatar.
Polyphemus.
Thank you.
Oh.
Sigourney
Pandora.
Weaver.
God,
Sigourney Beaver.
So horny beaver.
I did not come up with that.
Oh, man. I knew you knew it, but Jesus, man.
Anthony always has like these little tantrums before you.
It said Pandora like 3 times.
I didn't- wasn't
and I knew
clicking.
it's Sigourney Weaver the second she started talking.
Well, you've seen Avatar like 2 or 3 times. You get your fill of Avatar.
If only it would have said unobtainium, then I would have got it.
Well, clip number 3.
You have bones sticking out of your arm.
All right, let me just sit here a minute.
There's
Logan?
ambulance coming. Man over yonder went to cough.
All right.
No Country for Old Men.
Ding, 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 ding. Nice. Never saw that one either.
What?
What?
Okay, no, that's one you need to see. That's really good.
Is it though?
Yeah, no, it's really
yeah,
good.
no, that's a good one.
All right, so Jake takes the win with 2 points.
It
for the
doesn't.
night.
It doesn't even matter. You haven't seen Javier Bardem play Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men.
No.
It's such a solid movie.
Yeah. The bad guy from Skyfall?
Call it Friendo.
Yeah. Go completely psycho.
So good.
I thought it was like a Homeward Bound sequel.
No. It's Tommy Lee Jones and I forget the guy's name already.
I'm not a big Tommy Lee Jones fan.
What?
You would guess Avatar, you nasty. You don't know general audience over here.
All right, that being said, that has been episode 17 of So Many All-Stars. We are on all kinds of social media these days. You can find us on Facebook at Super Media All Stars. You can find us on Instagram at Super Media All Stars. You can also listen in to us on podcast services on your Apple devices. You can listen to us on Google Play. You can also pull up the internet radio and listen to us on TuneIn.
Yeah, and I'm just going to plug my Instagram feed, Steelbook Obsessed. I put a Steelbook up every day. Last week I just passed 500 followers.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. Just keep on racking them up. Yep, having fun doing it. I'm in the L's right now, and I'm at like 120.
Nice.
Yep.
We got a lot of good things coming forward. We all watched Stranger Things. We'll be doing a kind of a season recap of that and our thoughts on that.
A look behind the curtain. We're going to record it like right after this. So
dun, 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 dun.
I think we're going to call that one like 17.5.
Something like that. We'll figure it out.
Just like a mini episode.
We decided to give it its own episode.
Yeah, if we tried to like cram it in with this one, this would have been like a 3-hour podcast.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Right, exactly. On the gaming side, there's a lot of good stuff that'll be coming out. We're talking about Mario Odyssey later this week.
Oh my God, I cannot wait to talk about Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah. We unboxed the Call of Duty Special Edition, which we'll be posting here shortly on YouTube. That's another thing. Check us out on YouTube. Give us a like and subscribe there as well. We could always use your feedback there.
Definitely. Everything we do is on YouTube. That'd be, in my opinion, that's your number one source to go to.
Right, and like we've had some comments and feedback. We're looking forward to all you guys' comments and feedback. We appreciate your comments and support, so please continue to do so. So that being said, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. We'll see you next time, audience.
See ya, friendo.
Bye.
Bye now.
Game over, man. Game over.
Bye bye.
I am out of here.